Yeah, thrilled obviously to be here. Excited to play in T-Mobile, fabulous arena. Obviously, a really exciting four programs here, and should be a unbelievable challenge versus Arkansas team that is playing like the top 10 team that they were projected to be in the preseason.
Okay, question down front right here.
Dave Borges, Hearst, Connecticut Media. Before we get into Arkansas, I just wanted to ask you about the new changes in the Big East with Rick Pitino coming and Ed moving to Georgetown. What do you think that means for the league in general?
I mean, for me, it means at least I get a bunch of months of rest before I got to deal with this new and even more powerful conference. Obviously, you love the hires. What Rick's going to do at St. John's. You know what Ed's going to do at Georgetown. As I sit here, I don't know who Providence has hired or is hiring because I'm not on Twitter right now. So, but yeah, the league. It's great for the league. For me, I want the league to be as powerful as the league could be. As many quad one games as you can get across the board. As exciting as the league is, it's a great St. John's and a great Georgetown is great for all of us.
Question in the back, and then we'll go to the front.
Jay Thomas, UNLV TV. So obviously the women's side of UConn also has a lot of success, and you guys also have a lot of success being in the Sweet 16. So what is it like to represent UConn as a university?
Yeah, it feels great. Obviously, from a basketball standpoint, the history on both sides, and it's a special thing to play basketball and to share the practice facility, together with the history of both programs. It's great for us to be holding up our end of the bargain in March now. We've put together some pretty strong regular seasons, but it's great to be joining them this late in the year. But our programs, I think, our players and my relationship with Gino and our coaching staffs, there's a really close relationship that we all have with each other that I feel is is really galvanizing for both.
Down front.
Yeah. Hey Dan, Bob Holt, Arkansas Democrat Gazette. I wanted to ask you about Nick Smith for Arkansas. Very heralded players. Dealt with some injuries. The last couple of games he hadn't shot very well. But Eric says he thinks maybe he's due a breakout. What's your take on Nick, and are you concerned that he's not going to keep shooting like that?
Yeah, he's really an electrifying player to watch. Just in terms of his abilities with the ball, just how twitchy he is with the ball. Obviously, his size, his length. I saw him a bunch in high school. So we know what he's capable of in terms of the three-point shooting and the perimeter shooting. So, yeah, we are obviously preparing for him like we've got a guard, one of the best, scoring guards in the country.
Hey Dan, Joe Ruda, Hartford Current. How valuable is it to have Coach Calhoun to come in and speak with the team before you guys made the trip? And just second part, just how does your message change at all from the first two rounds to the team versus now?
Yeah, first on Coach, I've always been smart enough to try to get as close to Coach Calhoun and Gino as I could possibly get. So much, for me to learn from both. And then I just thought going into the tournament, I know I wanted to be around Coach. Maybe just get some of that magic on me a little bit. And then the second part, I just thought that, a confident message from Coach to the team about what he expected from them in Albany. I thought it landed. I thought the players were, that landed on them. And then, obviously it worked. And we want a Coach to come back. And then this time of year, it's identity. And it's like, just fellas, play to our identity. You're dealing with nothing but quality here, especially in this little 4-team bracket. I think anyone in this bracket's capable of getting to the national championship game and winning it. So we know how loaded this 4-team field is. We just got to play to our identity.
Dan, Mike Anthony from Hearst. I don't know that I've ever seen a UConn player smile and laugh as much as Adama.
Adama?
Yeah, he just seems to carry himself with a joy and like an appreciation for everything every day. I'm wondering, just what do you see in his personality that enables him to do that, and the way he carries himself?
Yeah, great family background. Comes from great pedigree, and I just think that he works so hard at everything that he does. So I think innately he just feels like he's got a lot of confidence because he knows he's put in tremendous work, and then he's had a heck of a career, right? I mean, he's getting to a Final Four. He's advancing in this tournament further. If he does that, I mean, you're talking about being one of the all-time great players in UConn history. He's at the doorsteps of that. So I just think he's grown and he's comfortable in his own skin, and I think he just believes in himself.
Mark?
Mark Anderson, AP. 3-point shooting percentages are down across the board this year compared to previous years. Any explanation for that?
Yeah, I think there's not. I think that there's a lot of fouling going on the perimeter in particular. I think talk so much about freedom of movement, and I just think there's like a little bit of physicality that's going on, with dribble drivers and people trying to utilize screens on the perimeter that muddies and mucks the game up. Obviously, tomorrow's game for us, it's important how the game is officiated, because we do need the freedom of movement. We run a lot of things offensively, and we need our players to be able to run without being held, being grabbed.
In the back.
Wayne Norman, UConn Radio. Dan, you're talking about perimeter defense. Could you say a couple words about the defense of Tristan Newton? He held St. Mary's leading scorer to 3 for 15 shooting the other night, and maybe how his defense has improved this year and how important he is to UConn's three-point defense that led the Big East.
Yeah, the one thing that really helps us, because the tough thing going into the Arkansas game is their perimeter size. They obviously have huge guards. And obviously a major plus with Tristan is he is 6'4", close to 6'5", and obviously that was big in his matchup with Logan Johnson. So he's going to need all of that versus this Arkansas team. I don't think that we'll be able to get away with as deep as the St. Mary's guards got with the ball against us in dribble penetration. Arkansas will finish those plays at the rim, so we're going to have to do a better job of keeping their dribble drivers, and they're constantly attacking. We got to keep those guys out of the paint.
Down front.
Yeah, Dan, Dave Borges, Hearst Connected Media. Eric really uses the transfer portal quite a bit, more as much as a lot of other coaches in the country. You've used it a little more effectively, but not quite as much. Is it kind of an interesting contrast in how to build a team between the two of you?
Yeah, they've had tremendous acquisitions, right? You got the 3 5-star, NBA, either lottery or first-round pick level talents, in Smith and Black, and in Walsh, and then they seem to be getting some of the best portal players, that are available. So, I'm obviously very familiar with the Mitchell twins, with my Rhode Island history and following their careers pretty closely. So. Yeah, we probably go about things in a different way in terms of the way that we probably build a team. But I think our teams both kind of play in a similar way, that we both play incredibly hard. Both coaches, coach with a lot of passion, and so some similarities, some differences.
Okay, we've got a question on Zoom from Christopher Heidel from Herb FM.
Hi, Coach Hurley. This is Chris Heidel from Herb Radio in Baltimore. A question about Jordan Hawkins, kid from Maryland, Gaithersburg. What type of player is he, and how great is he on your team?
Yeah, he best thing about Jordan is obviously his skills and his talents and abilities, but his parents, he's got great parents, and they've held him kind of accountable his whole life, and they really allow us to coach him. They don't make excuses for him. They've just done a hell of a to not make excuses or blame coaches or blame other people for their struggles. And you add his type of NBA level talent with that type of mindset that was instilled in parents, and now it's hard for me to screw it up.
Adam?
Coach, Adam Hill, Las Vegas Review-Journal. Each of the first two games, your team has kind of used that first 10 minutes to settle in a little bit and then just overwhelmed your opponent. What is it about your team kind of being comfortable in that and just knowing like, all right, we're fine, we can be behind a little bit and just take over?
Well, we were confident in the depth of the team. You know, we go 9, 10 deep, and our bench has helped us win a lot of games this year. I think when you're UConn and you're playing in the first round of the tournament, maybe even the second round, there's a lot of pressure on you, the pressure of the brand that you carry. So I think we were maybe a little bit uptight going into those first and second round games, and hopefully some of that pressure's been alleviated and we could just go out tomorrow and let it rip. I don't think we could afford to have a slow start versus these guys with the way that they play.
Bob?
Yeah, Dan, Bob Holt again, Arkansas Democrat. I know you guys are one of the top I think you're the top rebound team left, plus 9-3, and I think you're the top offensive rebound team by KenPom Analytics. Arkansas is a plus 16 combined in Des Moines against two pretty good rebounding teams. So how do you see the rebounding, just the physicality and everything about the matchup?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be obviously a part of this game is going to be played in a really physical way on the backboard. For us, I don't know that we have maybe quite the same level of athleticism. So we've got to be more fundamental in terms of putting a body on a body, being inside position, and then being really physical at that point. But we pride ourselves on winning the rebounding battle as they do, and it's going to be a war when the ball goes up tomorrow in the glass, no doubt.
Right down front.
Dan, Dom Amori from the Hartford Courant, as you
What's
know.
up, man? Yeah, I know. I know you.
Can you describe what's unique or special about Jordan's shooting mechanics? And also if you see some similarities between his shooting ability and AZ Fudd's shooting ability, aside from just the results.
Yeah. No, he has this unique ability, I think, to move at a speed off of screens, like using a stagger, using a pin, sprinting at full speed and getting into his shot just in a fluid, athletic, natural way that you're just not used to seeing at the college level. I think you're maybe used to seeing it a little bit more at the NBA level. I would not compare him to like a Klay Thompson, but a college version in terms of just how unique the skill set is. And I think sometimes his first half, he's got to remain a little bit patient because defenses wear down over the course of time, and that's where he's been able to expose some people in the second half, by getting on a run. And yeah, I mean, I'll take him shooting it as good as AZ shoots it in his tournament. It enhances my chances versus Arkansas. She's unbelievable.
One final question from John.
John Marshall, AP. As a coach, how similar would you say you are to your dad?
That was a brutal last question, buddy. Just the coaching part, I'm happy my dad's at the games.